Hello and welcome to Out and About. I'm Diane Gonzalez. With the passage of the Homestead Act in 1862, many European immigrants were drawn to the Great Plains, and that included tens of thousands of Czechs. Between 1856 and World War I, over 50,000 Czechs settled in Nebraska, helping to shape the state that we know today. Today, their descendants celebrate their heritage with festivals, and Lincoln's annual festival is celebrating its 50th year in May. And joining me to talk about the festival and about their Czech heritage are two guests. Carter Holinsky is the president of Nebraska Czechs of Lincoln, and he brought royalty with him. Stephanie Vokasek was Miss Czech Slovak US in 2010 and 2011. It's like the Miss America of Czechs.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. All right. It's so great to have you both here.
Thank you.
I want to start with talking a little bit about why so many Czechs chose Nebraska. And Stephanie, you've been to your homeland. Tell me what your theory is and why you think so many people came here.
So as Miss Czechoslovak United States, one of my awards was a trip to the Czech Republic. So I spent 10 days there, and I never understood when people said you get there and you feel this sense of home, and I absolutely felt it. And I know that's how my ancestors felt when they came here, that they saw this as a new homeland, that they saw the same plains and the same opportunity for farming and agriculture and just growth of their family and their community. And, you know, I just see so much there that correlated back to what I know and love here. And so I think
And a lot of it was promotion to the Czechs who came here, promoted it to their families back home. There were some Czech newspapers that found their way back.
Yes, exactly.
So,
And economics played a big factor too. The Czech people were actually being ruled by the Austrian Empire at the time. The national language was German. And so I think the enticement of being a landowner, being able to not working for someone but being your own boss, brought those people over to the United States at that time. A lot of them had farming skills, blacksmith skills. It was trade skills that they could use to homestead with.
all right. Tell me about your family story.
So I have Czech family on both sides, but on my mom's side, my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather actually came over from Czech, and he worked at what is now the St. Louis Botanical Gardens and helped to found those and get those up and going, and then sent the money back home to bring the rest of his family here. So that was kind of the story with a lot of families, that one or two people would come over and build this life for their family and then send what they had earned and get the family here and start their new life together here.
And does your family have a similar story?
It's similar. My family came over in the 1890s, and they actually homesteaded in central Nebraska around the Orden-Burwell area. And so one of them was actually a blacksmith. So he had the skills. He built his windmill and actually built his house out of brick, which was very unusual for the plains at that time, and it's actually on the National Register of Historic Places. It's still standing.
Still
yes.
standing. That's wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about the festival itself. This is a whole day of activity. It's coming up from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday, May 5th at the Plainmore Ballroom out on West O Street, and everything is free except the kolaches, right?
Exactly.
Got to
and the
pay
food.
for the kolaches.
Yep. So we're going to have a bake sale, and that's the excitement. You come to the bake sale. We're going to have polka music. We're going to have the accordion jamborees playing for us, and this year we're going to have. We've always served an authentic Czech meal, but we actually have a Czech chef. He has got some ancestry, and he makes very authentic Czech food, the real bread dumplings. He makes dill gravy. We're going to serve it with pork, and then we'll also have, we'll just have some other good food too that you can try. So make sure you bring some money, because these are kolaches that are going to be made. We're going to make over 80 dozen, and we're going to do this next weekend. And we're going to have the Czech members and a lot of these little old ladies who, you know, there's a certain need, there's a certain way you roll the
There's
kolach.
no recipe. They just learned it.
They learned it. It's been passed down for generations, and we'll have lots of varieties. We'll also have we'll introduce our new queen and the royalty that's associated with that, and we'll have some demonstrations. We'll have a gentleman who's going to teach accordion lessons to kids, and I'm sure
great.
adults can come to that and be a part of that. We'll have kraut demonstrations. There'll be other vendors selling Czech glass, Czech pottery, jewelry, garnets, that kind of thing. So it's a
Wonderful.
one-stop shop.
Well, tell me about the whole the queen aspect of it, the princesses and the queen, and I'm comparing it to the Miss America competition. Is that something that came from the Czech people as well?
So the pageant system within the Czech community is we have princesses, so getting young ladies involved when they're young. I was never a Czech princess. I was a little sister at the national pageant and looked up to these girls and said, oh my gosh, someday I'm gonna be there. And little did I think that years later I would be there and be crowned Miss Czechoslovakia United States. So we get them involved early because it's so often that life gets in the way, they get busy and join sports and different events and suddenly lose the passion behind this. And it's so important to continue this on because if our ancestors didn't make this sacrifice, we wouldn't be here today. So it starts young, and then we have the queens. I actually run the Nebraska pageant now, so I'm the director of that. So continuing to be involved, although my crown has been passed down years ago. And they have the opportunity to compete in several different competition categories. A private interview where they're going to ask questions about the heritage and the history. There's an onstage interview, a Croy modeling, which is the costume. So you design a costume based upon either yourself and your family, or you can go back and look at the historical costumes and what your region might have worn. And then there's a talent portion. So we'll have queens from all over the state coming to visit with us. Our national queen that was crowned last year is actually from Nebraska also.
Wonderful.
So there's a good chance that we'll have her there also. And just seeing the younger generations get involved. Carter had talked about, the little older ladies that have been making collage since they were young. And if we don't continue these traditions, these things will die off. And I mean, what's a life without collage? So,
Is it kolach or kolachi? Have I been saying it wrong?
So the singular, true Czech, the singular is kolach. Plural would be kolachki, correct?
kolache.
Kolache.
And it's actually Willa Cather, our Nebraska author, who anglicized the word kolach and made it kolachi. So if you read My Antonia, which I believe it's the 100th anniversary this year, 1918, so 101 maybe. But she is the one who brought it over.
That's wonderful. Well, tell me about your organization itself, a little bit about the Lincoln Czech organization, how it was founded, and what you all do.
So the Nebraska Czechs of Lincoln, it's been around since 1973. And you go, how do we get 50 years? Well, actually you go back a couple years before that, and we have the ZCBJ lodges, or what is now the WFLA, the Western Fraternal Life Association. It's a fraternal group that members were. They started the festival at Gateway in 1969. Now, there was a movement in Nebraska in the early 60s, the Nebraska Czechs Incorporated. Wilbur had the first chapter, I think Dwight followed, and then there was a group in Lincoln saying, hey, we need our own Nebraska Czechs Incorporated chapter. So that's how Nebraska Czechs of Lincoln was incorporated in the 70s. But it really was composed of the same people who were a member of the lodges. In fact, there's 2 meetings a month. There's a lodge meeting, and then there's the Nebraska Czechs of Lincoln meeting. It's the same people almost. So that's how we kind of got started. There was also a choraleer group, a musical group that toured. They kind of disbanded in the mid-2000s, but that was another portion of it. So we've always been about celebrating our heritage, making sure that the Czech language is still taught at the university, providing these festivals, providing support to some of our people in our chapter have immigrated from the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia at the time, and we supported that. So it's always been a social group to support each other in something that we have in common.
Why are you proud of your Czech heritage?
Actually, this was one of the questions that I was asked at the national pageant. So, all in all, it's the people. There are no better people than the Czech people. And again, I can tie this so much back to, it's Central Europe, or the heart of Europe was Czechoslovakia and now Czech Republic. And the heart of America is Nebraska. And there's so much heart in these people. So hardworking people that just have dedication for anything that they do. And I truly see that not only in Nebraskans, but the Czech people in Nebraska. I have so much pride in that. I'm so proud of my ancestors for making this sacrifice, because I have the life I have today because of the sacrifices that they, had years ago. And so I just want to continue that on. I want that pride. I want people to be proud of where they came from, because we have an amazing country, and it wouldn't be what it is today if we wouldn't have had people come from all over the world. And it truly is the melting pot. And I'm so proud of the little piece of that melting pot that the Czech people are. And I just want to continue that on. They're beautiful people, and with beautiful music, and so much passion behind everything that we do. And I just am proud of that, and can't imagine being anything but Czech.
And Carter, you mentioned to me that one of the things that you're proud about is that the Czechs have always placed a very high priority on education.
Absolutely. The Slavic language was the first language to be, the word I want to use is granted by the Pope or approved by the Pope. The Bible was translated into Slavic language first. So it was one of the first. So we have a history of literature going very early on. We've always had lots of newspapers. You mentioned the newspapers earlier. There are hundreds of small newspapers that were published here in the United States when the immigrants came over, in going back countries. There's rich books. Prague was the center of Europe for many years under the Roman Empire. So
I've heard it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
and it really is, yes.
Absolutely.
Again, the Nebraska Czechs of Lincoln 50th Czech Festival is coming up Sunday, May 5th. Another way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
That's right.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Plainmoor Ballroom out on West O Street. If you'd like more information, it's lincolnczechs.org. Again, everything is free except for the wonderful food, the kolach, the dumplings. It's all going to be there. Thank you both so much again for being here and for being proud of your heritage. I love the costumes. I love the food. I even polka. So hope to see you there. As we go to break, we're going to take a look at what's happening at the Lancaster Event Center, and then we'll be back with Jeff Mall from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Stay with us.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy, and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress, the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About. Jeff Mull joins us now from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Spring is here, so we're going to go outside, and we're going to do outside events this whole first segment.
Finally going outside.
The granddaddy of them all, the marathon is coming up the first weekend in May, and that is always a good time. It's fun to go out and just cheer them and say you can do it.
Yeah, that's the neat thing about the Lincoln Marathon is it gets a chance for everybody in the community to get out and support the runners. A lot of water stations and aid stations across the community. Of course, we got the half marathon going on during the event as well. The mayor's run that will happen around the state capitol happens that Saturday before that Sunday of the Lincoln full and half marathon. But a great opportunity for this community to to be hospitable and be warm and welcome people back. 42nd year. It's hard to believe that they're coming up fast on 50.
Yes, they are. That'll be a big one. All right, then it's also a great time to go out to the baseball park. When do the Salt Dogs start? I forgot to check on them.
Coming up in May.
Coming up
Yep,
in May,
yep.
so we'll have to talk about that. But right now we got Husker baseball and softball. Baseball, April 5th through the 7th at Purdue, and then all the way through mid-May at Michigan State. Don't miss Senior Day. Well, first of all, don't miss Kansas State, of course.
Wow.
April 16th.
Don't overlook the Wildcats.
Yes.
Good gravy.
And then May 16th through 18th is Michigan Senior Day on the 18th.
Yeah, the home slate, which will take you April 7th through May 16th through the 18th, is pretty loaded with some great teams. Arizona State, like you mentioned, Michigan, Creighton, interstate
Yep,
rivalry
Creighton's in there.
Coach Erstad has the boys playing at a high level this year, and we need to get out there and support them and fill Haymarket Park and create a real home atmosphere for them.
All right. The volleyball team, or the softball team, I'm sorry. I think women in volleyball.
Yes.
Softball team plays at Boland Stadium, and they've got a good slate coming up of home games. Also, their Fan Appreciation Day is Saturday, the 27th.
And we'll get another Wildcat team in the house, the Northwestern Wildcats, April 5th
and they're
through the
purple.
7th.
Yeah.
That's right. Wrap things up with the Terrapins of Maryland, April 26th, 27th, and 28th at Boland Stadium. Beautiful little ballpark over there. People will
Yes,
sometimes
it is.
overlook the fact that the softball team plays right there next to Hawks Field at Haymarket Park, and it's just a great combined venue for both teams.
All right. Nebraska Corporate Games begin in late April. This is a competition where you can get your coworkers out there. I looked up what the sports were, and some of them are not exactly sports, but things that maybe I could compete in.
Yes.
We've got a 5K, basketball, bowling, cornhole, cycling, disc golf, fitness walk, golf, pickleball, and trivia.
Something
I could
for
do
everybody.
trivia,
Yeah,
yeah.
we actually talked about this over at the Chamber of Commerce, maybe putting together a team, because there's really something there for those that maybe feel like they're athletically the best, and some that feel like maybe they want to do something a little bit more less strenuous.
I'm good at trivia.
Yeah, trivia is great. I want to thank Dave Monerick, Scott Ash, Linus Hagedorn, and the entire staff over at the Nebraska Sports Council for putting this on. When I walked over here today, they let me know they still have openings for 3 teams.
Okay.
So if you hear this in the next few days, get a hold of them at the Nebraska Sports Council and register your corporate team.
Good team building.
Yes.
All right. The rivals, blondes versus brunettes. What about redheads?
Well,
Where do they fit?
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. This is basically 2 teams of women divided to reflect any kind of rivalry, east versus west, north versus south,
Yeah.
blondes versus brunettes.
Right.
Redheads versus the world.
Yep.
And this is all to raise money for Alzheimer's disease research.
Had a chance. These girls have been practicing the last 2 weeks at the same venue that we practice baseball. And I'll tell you what, they're a pretty darn good-looking football team as far as talent-wise. They're fast. They're aggressive. If anybody knows Pete Ferguson, Coach Pete
Yes.
Ferguson is one of the coaches for these teams.
Wow. I'd
And,
put my money on Pete's
Yeah,
team.
got a really competitive team. They will compete at Speedway Village for this event, an amazing indoor and outdoor facility.
All right. Hop, skip, jump, and run, a 1-mile fun run. And the SKIP in this case stands for School Community Intervention and Prevention Program, which provides some services all across our state.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for children and adults to participate in this event. This will take place at Antelope Park. Great opportunities to run and enjoy some food trucks and live music.
All right. Law Enforcement Memorial Week is always mid-May, and the Honor the Fallen Challenge, the 5K Challenge, takes place during that time. They're going to raise some money for the police department.
Yeah, great combination of the folks at Blue Blood Brewing and Good Life Fitness, the Van Dorn location. Opportunity to do a 5K challenge course honoring the fallen 5K. Challenge course will coincide with Law Enforcement Memorial Week. And I'll tell you what, there's something into this race that says if you're weak during this 5K and you stop and give up, you're going to be doing some burpees. So
Yes, if you're unable to complete an obstacle, you'll be asked to
Right.
complete 15 burpees. I can't even do one.
right, so that would
Maybe
tell
in
you,
slow motion,
yeah,
but-
don't quit.
Oh,
Don't
man,
quit.
Don't quit. It's a heavy price.
Yes.
All the proceeds go to the Lincoln Police Department Wellness Committee and the LPD Memorial. So
Wonderful.
good cause. Another great event to a memorial type of event is the Ride of Silence. This happens all around the world at the same time.
Yeah, the Ride of Silence is a free ride that asks its cyclists to ride no faster than 12 miles an hour for no longer than an hour, wear helmets, obey the rules of the road, and this is in honor of those that have been riding out there and their lives have been taken by either a driver or something tragic happens. And it's been happening a lot in our community over the last several years. We've lost some very influential people, and this is a great chance to honor those. No matter where you're at, observe a rite of silence on May 15th.
And with a lot more riders out on the streets as spring hits,
Yes.
please be careful.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the road, and that thing called a phone, just stay off of it.
That's right.
Please.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the Rite of Silence, GreatPlainsBikeClub.org is the website where you can check that out. All right, Jason, the bird nerd from Spring Creek Prairie, is going to be doing an event in combination with First Plymouth.
Yeah, the programs will present different aspects of sustainability for the health of our planet. Why Lawns Bug Me is the production. How to repair and re-prairie suburbia to create suburbia.
Suburdia.
And that will be presented. It is coming into that time, and I'll tell you, the robins, the cardinals, the blue jays right now, they're pretty prevalent.
And I have baby foxes in my backyard.
Oh,
again.
here we go again, right?
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Are they screaming yet?
No, they're just wrestling.
Are they?
They're pretty tiny right
Yeah,
now, but they
awesome.
are just so much fun to
We
watch.
have a new city animal. I don't know. The official animal of Lincoln.
Keep your cats indoors. The foxes have been born.
Yes.
So, chance to see the Lincoln Solar Project is coming up April 18th. More than 15,000 solar panels. They produce enough energy to power about 900 homes here in Lincoln, and you can go out and check it out.
Yeah, LAS's Scott Benson will be there presenting information on Lincoln's solar project constructed by Interpac. You'll have to sign a waiver before you get there. There's a lot of very interesting things going on with the solar panels, and it's a great opportunity to learn about the future, right? We talk a lot about wind energy, but solar energy has always been there. It's been used, and I think it's a great opportunity to educate your family about the benefits of solar energy.
All right. The Lincoln's Earth Day celebration then is coming up Saturday, April 27th at the Jane Snyder Trails Center there at Union Plaza. Lots of fun stuff to encourage you to be green.
Yep, kid-friendly event, hands-on demonstrations, food trucks, green vehicles, and more. If you haven't been to Union Plaza, stop by the Jane Snyder Trails Center and start a walk, start a run, just enjoy nature. And it's such a great way that it's really transitioned east of downtown and done some great things through there. So great way to learn about that as well as our Earth.
There's always fun at the Pioneers Park Nature Center. There's a couple of special events coming up we want to tell you about. You can register by April 17th for Saturday with our naturalist that's coming up on the 20th.
Right.
And then register by May 9th for the Mother's Day Birdwalking Brunch.
Great opportunity to honor mothers and enjoy nature. Love what they're doing at Pioneers Park Nature Center. I know the weather's been unfriendly like it is to most of us.
Probably a little soggy out there yet.
Getting the
but
grounds ready, and in fact, as we tape this, I think I saw some snow falling this afternoon, and it was just weird outside. But we got to get into April and enjoy some good, and
March
much
is
better weather.
never going to end, I
Yes.
swear. All right. Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park starts off our theater segment. This is not, the setting is not in a park, but it's a really fun place.
Story of a couple newlyweds in every sense of the word. After a 6-day honeymoon, they get a surprise visit from Corey's loopy mother and decide to play matchmaker.
Corey is the free-willed one,
Yep.
and her husband, Paul, is more straight-laced, so there's some of that dynamic going on. It's a really fun play.
Loopy mother. Loopy.
Yeah.
Probably not going to repeat that
No.
to anybody.
No, that's okay. Sorry, moms out there. Okay, Nebraska Wesleyan then finishes its season with the Robber Bridegroom.
That's right. Come out for the latest Nebraska Wesleyan Theater's production of the season. Bluegrass meets Broadway. Identities collapse in this barn-raising southern thrill of a good time set in 18th century Mississippi.
All right.
MIS.
Omni Arts Nebraska presents the Day Room coming up in May. And this is concerns characters in a psychiatric hospital. The distinctions between the staff and the patients gradually blur.
When you say that, I think about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Yes,
Nest. What
yes.
a great movie. But this will be a great production, and I love what the Johnny Carson Theater does. A lot of people know about the Lead Center, but Johnny Carson is a little bit more of an intimate setting. A lot of the great theater technologies that are used, and a great setting for this production.
That's right. This is directed by Danny Cooper, and he is this year's Mayor's Arts Award winner for Artistic Achievement in the Performing Arts.
Yay.
And the lead is J. Scott Chipman from Wesleyan. He doesn't do a lot of acting in the community, so
Good.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting show.
Danny's a good guy.
Yes, he is. All right, MAME is coming up at the Community Playhouse, and Karen Friedman Wills, everybody's favorite, she has the lead in this. So
Yeah, it's one of musical theater's all-time greatest heroines in this brassy, tuneful, hilarious, and touching adaptation of Patrick Dennis's bestseller, Auntie Mame. Lincoln Community Playhouse.
there you go. See Karen in the lead role.
Good.
All right, Spirit of 68. This kind of wraps up the Reps 50th anniversary season. I saw Hair last night at the Johnny Carson Theater.
I hear it was good.
It-
or should I say I hear it was good?
You heard right.
Okay.
It was fabulous, and this the Spirit of '68 features. It says some stilt dancing, and there was some stilt dancing last night.
Everybody
it looked scary.
Come out okay?
Yeah, it was great, but it looked really scary.
That's good. This event will feature hors d'oeuvres, drinks. It's just a great celebration, like you said, of their 50th anniversary. And enjoy the event at the Leeds Center for Performing Arts.
All right. The brothers Osborne are hitting the streets downtown for a concert. No relation to Tom Osborne. These guys are from Maryland, I understand, but they are brothers.
They are, and they're country music stars. They're actually kind of a big name out there on the country music scene. So fortunate to have them for the Lincoln on the Street concert. This event will be down on Centennial Mall and M Street, amongst the buildings of downtown Lincoln, and we pray for good weather, but we pray for great attendance. I'll tell you, music and having Tom Lorenz on this show, things can't happen in Lincoln without the support of our community. So
That's
whether
right.
it's indoors, outdoors, on the grass, not on the grass, support the live music scene in Lincoln because it's very powerful.
All right. You can see live jazz every Monday night at Blue Blood Brewing Company. And this is another Mayor's Arts Award winner, Capital Jazz Society. So get down there on a Monday night, check them out.
Yeah, a lot of great big band music, it looks like.
All right. This is a world premiere of Time in the River.
Yep.
It needs a little explanation. I think people may be familiar with the Platte Basin time-lapse photographic project. Michael Forsberg, Michael Farrell combined to create the images along the river. This sets it to music.
More than 60 time-lapse camera systems are in place throughout the 90,000 square mile Platte River Basin from the river's headwaters in Colorado Rockies all the way through the Missouri River on Nebraska's eastern border. And each camera tells one part of the story of water's roughly 900-mile journey. I'm trying to process this in my mind. This sounds like something that will be mesmerizing. There'll be music there as well.
Yes, organist, conductor, and composer from Kansas City, Kurt Connectus, composed the music for this. This is going to be, it's the music and the photographs together. I think it's going to be really special.
Sounds like something that if it goes over good this first time, maybe they'll be able to show it again because this really sounds like something everybody should take advantage of.
All right. Coming up at the Leeds Center then, the Lincoln Symphony is performing there. Another little piece of Nebraska. In the second half, they're going to be doing a symphonic premiere of Brent Edstrom's Prairie Songs Remembering Antonia.
Yeah, featuring the music of Scott David Miller, Anton Miller, and an adaptation of Willa Cather's novel by Antonia. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this
The
was
Pines of Rome.
The Pines of Rome is the first part, Respigi.
Yes.
Yes, that is how things will start, and then we got some of the My Antonia at the back end. So a great show coming up from our Lincoln Symphony Orchestra. Something Rotten
Ooh.
is coming to the Leeds Center stage. This is a hit Broadway musical about two guys way back when writing the world's first musical.
Yeah, they set out to write the first hit play, turned into a musical. Nick and Nigel, the story of Something Rotten.
I've got my tickets for this one.
Do you
It
really?
should be
This sounds
fun.
great.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And then Red Green is here with his This Could Be It tour. Are you a Red Green fan?
Yeah, I know of Red Green. Fan or not a fan, I know of Red Green.
Well, apparently he's threatening to stop touring, so
Ooh.
this could be it. This might be your last chance to see him.
This is the latest one-man show featuring some brand new handyman projects, advice to married guys and teenage boys, trying to figure out the segue there, tips on getting old, an apology to the world on behalf of all baby boomers.
Yeah, what's that all
What
about?
are you doing, Red?
What do we have to apologize for?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think baby boomers should unite, pick at this show.
Buy a ticket.
Yeah.
There we go.
Buy a ticket. Red Green will make you laugh. All right, that's our lineup for this month. Wow, things are starting to pop for the summer.
They are. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about Salt Dogs baseball, the farmers markets that are going to go on across this community. If people have any questions about things to do, our visitor center down at 7th and P is appropriately located right catty corner to Laszlo's. You can hop on our website, lincoln.org, or you can give us a call at 434-5348 or 5335 as you see on the screen. Lots of great things to do in Lincoln. We're going to have our beer tour coming back.
Oh,
we're going to
great.
kick that off in May. And I'll tell you what, I'm ready for good weather. I'm ready for sunshine.
Boy.
There has been so many, on my voicemail, I say beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska every day. This year it's been hard through the winter for people to keep a straight face when they call me, but it's still a beautiful community.
Yes,
and
it
I just
is.
hope the weather catches up.
We need a little green.
We do.
We do need a little green. Well, spring and summer is a great time to get out to some of our community's fabulous museums and galleries. We'll have a lineup of what is happening at those museum and galleries as we go to break. And then Tom Lorenz joins us from Pinnacle Bank Arena in Pinewood Bowl. Stay with us.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy, and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress, the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About. Tom Lorenz joins me now from Pinnacle Bank Arena in Pinewood Bowl. I love having that candy behind me.
Looks pretty good, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. Good enough to eat. Hey, we just finished kind of the 5th year anniversary concert, a fabulous show by Michael Bublé, who of course did the first show
Sure.
5 years ago. What a half a decade it's been.
You know, it's amazing that it was the 5th anniversary already, and we're about 5.5 years in. It went so fast, and it's been, I think, beyond all of our expectations. The number of acts we've been able to have, the quality of them, and just the way that people continue to show up. And having Michael Bublé there was really special. He opened our arena. You know, at the time, the common wisdom was you'd have something like the Eagles open up. And we had the Eagles about the 3rd or 4th show. But Michael was so unique and great that it was a show and not a concert. He interacted with the audience so well, and it really made people feel great. And he jumped at the opportunity to come back and be here for our 5th anniversary, tape some special things on the way. And he's just such a nice guy, too. So it was fun for us, and I hope and I know it was fun for the audiences.
Kent Walgamont did a nice article that kind of recapped how well the arenas did over the last 5 years. And one of the things that I think a lot of people don't think about is how our local music scene, the venues that have been here for a while, really set the stage for the success of the arena.
They really do. I mean, people don't sort of get into the habit of going out and seeing live music just all of a sudden. You know, we had great people. We had certainly, 50 years at Pershing, But Bourbon Theater does a lot of live music, and that really gets people going. And Zubar, between
The legendary
the
Zubar.
legendary Zubar, which still has great musicians all the time, and Pete's taken up that mantle and just really done really well with it. Rococo Theater, and Pam over at Rococo. All these different venues that people get a chance to go to. So it's not just us, it's that, you said it right, it's the music scene here in Lincoln, and it's outdoor events, and even the State Fair and all those things, so that people look forward to live music, they enjoy it, it becomes a priority for them, and we really get to be the beneficiary of that. So, we think we're part of it, and we see all the different venues now that continue to do outside stuff and the cool festivals, and we're really, really very fortunate to have all of that built around us. And when people make comparisons from us to Austin, I think it's a fair comparison, and it gets more of a fair comparison year by year.
It's not as hot here either.
No, it's not as hot, but they don't also have to deal with snow, so we'll just, it kind of balances out there.
I'm headed there next weekend to see family. I checked the weather forecast. They have 80 today, and we're in the 30s.
Yeah,
so.
it's as we're filming this, I walked over and there's some ice on the grass, and I thought we were done with that, so maybe not.
We're just cool.
Yeah, we're tough.
We're tough.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, let's get behind you on the screen. We can see some rodeo action. We've got the PRCA coming in April 12th and 13th.
Right, the PRCA Extreme Rodeo featuring Broncos and bull riders. We've done rodeo in the past, and we've done full rodeo, but really the focus anymore is the best part of rodeo, which is the bull riders and also the bronc riders, the saddle and bareback. And so we focused on that this year. There'll be over 50 rides each night. You have to have two components to have a great rodeo. You have to have great cowboys and cowgirls and great riders, but you also have to have great stock. And so we work with Moss Brucker Rodeo. They bring in stock that they use at the National Finals Rodeo, and it's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of focus, there's a lot of energy, and it's amazing. I mean, these guys are nuts, but we appreciate all that they do. So when you get on the back of a bull, it's pretty awesome. They're great athletes.
The clowns are the ones who are really nuts.
They protect those riders. They make sure that the animals get back to where they belong, and it's a dance, but it's amazing.
All right, SmackDown Live then is coming up April 23rd.
We're going to have AJ Styles as the WWE champion, Daniel Bryan with Rowan, and they're all there for the WWE Championship. SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. All these different ones, New Day, Samoa Joe, Naomi, and more of your WWE favorites. This is SmackDown. This is one of the TV shows. This is a big deal, and it's a big production, and everyone's there, and I'm selling well. People are excited and looking forward to coming.
All right. For the third year now, the Mayor's Arts Awards is going to be at the arena, and Tom, you have done so much to really elevate this annual event to a new level.
We really like working with the arts community, and we realize that that hopefully our success also means some success for them, and wonderful people over at Art Scene. So we encourage people to go visit artscene.org. That's where a lot of the information is. Local artists will be creating art boards inspired this year by Van Gogh. The theme is Starry Nights. There'll be live performances, and you can secure your reservations by emailing Michelle at artscene.org, and you'll be able to come and see a great night of really supporting local artists and some great performances.
It's a fun night to celebrate the arts.
It really is.
It's a gala. It's a happening.
It is.
So be there.
Yeah.
All right. May 11th, then there's more fighting action at the arena.
Well, we have to go from the Mayor's Arts Awards to something a little different, where we do Dynasty Combat Sports Spring Brawl.
No brawling at the Mayor's Arts Awards.
You
Sorry
know,
about
sometimes
that.
those artists get a little touchy from the. No.
Not yet.
Not
Could be
yet.
a first.
Yeah, we'll see when they fight it out who wins the best award. But so Spring Brawl, we do kind of 2 MMA events every year. We do Seasons Beatings and Spring Brawl, and we do it with Dynasty Combat Sports. DC is the largest and most active martial arts group in Nebraska. We'll have fan favorite Alonzo Martinez. He's a veteran of over 70 pro fights. He'll put his DC Pro Lightweight title on the line, a lot of other fights. Mixed martial arts continues to grow in popularity, and we're very lucky in Nebraska. We've got a really, really good organization, puts on great fights. The Nebraska Athletic Commission is always there and sanctions all of this. And then the setting in the arena with the ribbon boards and the video boards, it's really a great setting. We appreciate working with those guys, and you know, it's, if you haven't tried it before, come on out. The people that are there are always there. So.
All right. Now, in Kent's article that we talked about earlier, he said the Tool concert on May 16th sold 10,000 tickets in a day.
It did.
Wow.
So
What's drawing people to this particular group?
So Tool is just this, you know, great LA band headed up by Maynard James Keenan, who is, you know, legendary. They're kind of described as like alternative rock, art rock, prog metal, post metal, all those great different descriptions because they're so interesting. They not only have great music, they put visual arts with it, but I think why it was so interesting is as we sat and worked with the agent in LA, he kind of looked, they hadn't been in this area for a long, long time. You know, we did kind of a version of them with when we did Perfect Circle at Pershing, and it was very good. But now having Tool tour, and they don't tour that often, we didn't do any pre-sales. It was just a one-day on sale, and it's sold tremendously. We tweaked the stage a little bit, so we opened up a few more seats, so there's some seats available. So if you didn't get in that first day, check it out. There's still some very good seat locations available. But Tool will be such a cool show to have here, and really happy it's coming.
All right. The world of volleyball is coming to the arena, and Lincoln's a volleyball town anyway. We're
Yep.
kind of the center of the volleyball universe with this event.
We are, you know, with so much interest and so much appreciation for volleyball. We'll have the FIVB Volleyball National League tournament here June 4th through 6th. U.S., Korea, Germany, and Brazil. Those are excellent teams. And I know the final night will be the USA and Brazil. Two of the top-ranked teams. They're both in the top 5 in the world. We've got Jordan Larson and some other great Husker players that still play with the USA team. It is top world-class volleyball, and we really get a ton of people that come out and support it.
And a fun retro night on June 8th with New Kids on the Block.
Yep, Salt and Pepper, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, Naughty by Nature, all those great 90s bands that we all listen to, and you hear that. It's kind of the soundtrack of your mind in there. Have them all together with New Kids on the Block. An excellent night, just a lot of fun on a great summer night.
Everybody will be comparing their favorite mixtape tunes from the
They
90s.
will, you know, and that was for somebody who doesn't remember, you know, we used to make all those great little cassettes, and you put all your favorite bands there, and you could trade them back and forth. It was fun.
Living Proof Live then, June 21st and 22nd, and this is a regional draw for a lot of people.
This really is. We get 2 days. It's Friday night and then Saturday morning, and it really is focused towards women. It draws them from all over. We get multiple states that are coming in to do this. Grammy Award winner Travis Cottrell will come in and lead worship. It is an uplifting time. Beth Moore is an excellent speaker, and it's a very, very fun event. And it's really nice when we get to do these regional events here in Lincoln, because not only do they get to see a great uplifting event, but they get to tour the city, and it really becomes a place for friends to gather.
All right. Two of the hottest women in the music world right now are coming in June and July. Carrie Underwood, June 23rd, and then Cardi B, July 26th.
You know, a little bit opposite ends of the spectrum, but you know, Carrie Underwood coming in with her Tour 360. The stage will be set up in the middle. People will be able to sit all the way around it. We'll have Maddie and Tay and Runaway Jane as the openers. Carrie Underwood, who is just a great artist and very, very nice person, and you see her every year on the CMA Awards, you know, as co-host. What a great show. Last time she loved it so much here. She did one of her songs twice. They cut it as a video, and it went viral nationwide. So always glad to have Carrie back. And then Cardi B, the hottest urban artist at this point. She's got Kevin Gates and Saweetie here coming also. Her latest album, Invasion of Privacy, has come out and just done huge business. She was a Grammy Award winner this year. This is pretty cool for us to get this. She's not doing that many dates at this point, and she's sweeping into Lincoln, and it is sold huge already. Get your tickets and be ready for that great show.
All right. Slipknot then is bringing their road show, their Not Fest road show to Lincoln.
So Slipknot, this really cool Iowa band that's very hard metal. the leather masks, all the cool stuff that they do are coming over. And again, they haven't toured lately. They've got a new album coming out. So our show is on August 8th. Their new album hits August 9th. So you know that those guys are going to be playing a bunch of stuff from the new album. You'll be some of the first ones to hear it. They brought their friends Volbeat, Gojira, and Behemoth. I mean, this is, if you're into rock and metal, this is where you have to be on that night. It's inside, it's not outside some hot field. We've got it inside. There'll be a little bit of a kind of a setup outside first, maybe a couple bands in the afternoon. But Knotfest will be the thing to be at this summer.
All right. And then in mid-August, the last show that's on the schedule so far, Why Don't We?
Why Don't We is doing their 8 Letters tour. So Why Don't We is a band. I think most of the guys in the band are in that 17 to 20 age group.
Yeah, they look very young.
One of the newest kind of boy bands out there. These guys are really, really talented. They've done a lot of stuff, certainly online, and their popularity is growing. Their pop music's kind of the breakout story right now. So we're very fortunate to have them come in. We're hitting all these different genres. You hit New Kids on the Block is that older sort of a boy band. We've got Why Don't We, and there's some other things that are going to be coming up. It's really fun to see all this variety, and hopefully we're hitting all those different genres, and everyone should be able to find something that they really appreciate.
Something for everyone.
That's right.
All right, let's go outdoors now. 8 shows have been announced for the Pinewood Bowl season, starting with the Avett Brothers May 17th.
Alternative country, Red Rock favorite. They played at Pershing some years back and did great. They are one of the ones that there's a few bands that we've been pursuing every year, and we finally kind of got the deal done with Avetts to come. May 17th, it'll be a great night. That's on that 3-night run where we have Tool on Thursday night, we've got Avetts on Friday out at the Bowl, and then we've got Kenny Chesney on Saturday night. So it's that 3-run show, but Avetts will be a wonderful way to start the Pinewood season.
All right. The Nebraska Folk and Roots Festival has been going on for a number of years, but I really think Pinewood is going to be an excellent venue for this.
You know, Mike Samrad does this wonderful job putting this together. Great local artist, and he's really not just a local artist. He's a regional and national artist at this point. He's put together a really good lineup. We get to talk about the Traveling McCourys, who also run a Grammy this year. This kind of iconic Pokey Lafarge. Greg Brown, Rainbow Girls, lots of great artists, and it's very eclectic, and there's a lot of different things. We really are kind of appreciative to be able to do it at Pinewood Bowl. It'll be a cool setting. We know the numbers are going to go up, and we'll try it for 1 day this year, and we'll see how it goes, and maybe in the future it'll be a 2 or 3 day thing. But this has got such a there's local bands that play, there's national ones. It'll be a wonderful day at the Bowl.
All right, June 16th, then the very next day, it's a day for the kids.
Right, Kids Bop, as we talk about developing music. So here, this is great, new music played by kids for kids, and it is a huge draw. Anybody who's in that world who has kids that age know about Kids Bop. Bring them out to the Bowl. It's a great setting. They're going to love it out there. It's colorful. It's fun. It's uplifting. And be a great family event.
All right, John Bellion then, July 24th. We've got a bunch of shows to kind of to end July with after the Pinewood Bowl musical.
Gets very busy, so right after the musical we move in, and John Bellion starts us off with kind of an urban rock feel. Again, one of these artists that's really blowing up and getting big. We'll really appreciate having him out there. There's a lot of good sales already on this. John's playing in Chicago, playing a lot of great places. And it's really nice to have him come out here to Pinewood Bowl and feature our first show in July.
And then a few days later, Tenacious D.
These guys, Jack Black is just kind of a legendary, and the response to this has been amazing. Everybody knows Jack Black. It's not like they tour very often at all.
Right.
And they are, the best on a pair of acoustic guitars. There's a lot of talent between these guys. They got a great opener called Winchester. And it'll be one of those iconic nights that people will remember forever. And again, there are very few tickets left, so we encourage people to jump on that as soon as they can.
Weird Al Yankovic, then July 31st. If you've seen Weird Al, this is not your normal Weird Al. He's going to be wearing a tux.
This is Weird Al with production. So he came out last time and did a lot of his favorites, and he does these great parodies of everything. But it was a pretty, cut back show. It was still great. This is with an orchestra, so he has an orchestra, he has costume changes, full production. This is going to be so cool.
It
And
really
you
is.
know, his fan base is rabid. So
Yeah, we kind of are.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you know, and then,
I
you
know.
know, we always talk about, you know, that you started hearing him back with Dr. Demento and all those cool
That's
things. So
right.
it'll be a fun night at the bowl.
Then guitar great Joe Bonamassa is coming back. That's a big get too.
You know, if I talk about bands that fit Pinewood Bowl perfectly, Joe Bonamassa is it. You know, with this high level energy of blues and rock. You know, he always has a great vocalist with him, excellent musicians. Last time we tried to do Joe Bonamassa, it was the night after the Crawford fight, and we were going out to Pinewood, and there was a big storm that night.
Yeah.
Trees blew down. We moved him in at 7 in the morning. People had a great show in the arena, but they can't wait to play outside. So it's great to have him back, and that'll be a great night of blues rock.
All right. The last show that's been announced so far
Yep.
is Judah and the Lion coming up in mid-August.
So picture a bunch of guys who grow up and love hip-hop beats and really modern music, but they're playing acoustic and folk kind of instruments. And so they put those two together, and they've been wildly successful. You just saw them recently on Jimmy Kimmel. They are the guys that are kind of the new cutting edge, and they're putting some different styles together. Really a fun night. Again, something that's perfect for Pinewood Bowl. And it's, you know, this is a great lineup, but some of the stuff that we haven't announced yet kicks it into a whole nother level. So
Can you tell us how many shows you're shooting for this year?
we know
Pinewood?
that there's at least 3 more, and probably more.
All right. Wonderful. Tom,
right.
thank you so much for keeping us entertained for 5 years plus, and here's to the next
You know,
5 and many more.
Thanks for letting me do the show, and thanks to Lincoln for continually showing up. And you know, this is a music town, and we're awesome. It's glad we get to be a part of it.
That's right. Thank you so much,
All right.
Tom. That is all for this month's Out and About. I want to thank all the guests that we had for today. If you missed any of the events, stay tuned. We'll run a list right after the show. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you out and about.